Well, hello everyone. It's Lori here with My Crafty Mind for you. Today I am going to be demonstrating how to decoupage a dishwasher safe platter. Since Thanksgiving is coming around the corner, I want to decorate a platter to take some goodies on to my sons. So what we're going to need is pieces to decoupage with. And what I have done is I have taken them from a napkin and I've cut the pieces out already to be that much more one step ahead of the game. Now you can do it a couple of ways. I like to take the at least 2 plies of the napkin just to have a better grip on things, and take some little scissors, and it's easier to maneuver with the tiny scissors, and just cut around the design. There is another way you can do this if you don't want to spend your time cutting. I wanted straight edges, but this also works, and it works very well. You will take your wet paintbrush with just some regular tap water. You wet your brush and you will just soak the water onto the paper and just gently pull it away, and it leaves a really nice tear edge, which also looks really nice. And when it dries really cool. Obviously this is wet, but it gives it a more organic look. But my intention, let me back up a little bit. You do, after you tear this apart, you do want to take apart your piece, because you're going to only work with 1 ply of the napkin, and that's what you will be decoupaging, is the 1 ply. So you're going to separate your napkin once you have either separated it with water or with scissors, okay? So that's very important. When you do buy the Decoupage dishwasher safe, you do not want to shake this like you normally would shake if you do decoupage for other projects. You want to roll it gently, because we do not want to create any bubbles. So in order to mix this decoupage for dishwasher safe, you want to just roll it, okay? Also keep in mind that if you have a project that you want to do and you need it for a certain date, allow yourself 28 days, because it needs to cure. And it's going to take 28 days to cure before you can put it in your dishwasher. That being said, I have already laid out my pieces to make sure that they're going to fill my platter just the way that I like them. And so I'm going to remove my pieces. I'm just going to set them aside. And we are going to begin decoupaging. When we decoupage the plate, first you want to take some vinegar, and you want to obviously wipe down any oils or any kind of residue that might be on your platter so that the decoupage can stick nicely. I have already done that. I have washed it with soap and water, and I have also went the extra step and taken off all the oils and fingerprints and whatnot off of my platter. Now I'm going to flip my platter upside down, and I am going to begin to decoupage. Now when we decoupage, we are going to be decoupaging the pretty side, because we're going to flip it over onto the platter, and the pretty side is going to show in our platter. I am going to zoom in just a little bit more on the camera so you can see what's happening at a better distance. Okay, I'm back. So let's get started on this project. I'm going to scoop my plate over, and I know that you can't see everything that's around, but you can see what I'm doing here, and that's what's important. So for my decoupaging, I am going to take a much wider brush, and I will be decoupaging very lightly. Now you only want to go over this once with the decoupage. Right now I don't have anything on here, because if you put too much wetness on here, you're going to tear your napkin. Remember, you're working with 1 ply, so that's the reason. Alrighty. So punch that down. I'm going to just start painting on my decoupage. Now I'm working on a glass mat. If you don't have a glass mat, that's perfectly fine. You can use your craft mat. Anything will work. That's just to be able to wipe it down after so that we don't have a problem. Now I'm going to lightly and carefully pick up my piece and I'm going to lay it in the center where I want it on my platter. And you may have some wrinkles. You want to be very careful and pull them very gently out. And if you want the wrinkle look, some people like the wrinkle look, that's perfectly fine. I don't want the wrinkle look on my wording, but I would not really, it wouldn't bother me too much if I had wrinkles on my pumpkins or anywhere else. I just do not want to tear my little piece. So there's that part. Okay. Now I'm going to take one of my leaves and I'm going to apply it to this bottom part over here. Once again, I'm going to dip my brush into my decoupage and I'm going to paint again on my 1-ply napkin very gently and not going over it too many times, as I do not want it to tear. Picking it up gently and laying it down very gently as close as I can to the edge of my platter. A little bit out of frame there. And hopefully not tearing it. And if you do get a tear, that's okay. You can push your napkin back in place. And what I intend to do, because these are not going to cover the plate entirely because they are leaves, I'm going to take a yellow colored napkin and I'm going to fill in all the spots that do not have any of my leaves on it. Now I got a little tear there, but that's not a problem. I'll just take my decoupage and lift it and put it on my plate and stick my leaf right back down, covering my tear. Okay. And that's looking pretty good to me. Now I am covering the back side, and that's okay because I'm going to be doing that anyways after this is all complete. So let me show you so far how this is looking. And you're going to see white inside of the leaf, and that's going to dry. So you're not going to see this white cloudiness. Now what I should have mentioned is you should have something to wipe your area down with, because when you start decoupaging, you're going to have decoupage on your surface. And when you lay down a new piece that you're going to decoupage, you do not want it to stick to your surface because that will also cause a tear. So a wipey is handy, or even a cloth of some kind. In this case, I had my wipies handy, so I'm going to go ahead and use those. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue doing each piece, decoupaging each piece of my leaves and adding it onto my surface of my plate. And I will spare you the time waiting as I do this. I will speed up the process and I will not be talking anymore for the rest of the video. I may talk over as we go through once the video is complete. If there's something I feel that I should mention, I will go ahead and talk over once it is recorded. All right, so I'll be talking to you soon. Okay, now that I have my plate pretty much covered the way I like it, I will go ahead and demonstrate what it looks like so far. Ooh, just accidentally tore that. It's okay, I'll go back and fix that. I touched it on accident, but Decoupage will fix that. Any places that I touched, I do need to touch up. Now is the time to touch that up. Any kind of air bubbles, now is the time to push those down. So I don't see any. So you do want to pick it up by the edges. This is what my plate is looking like so far. And now I'm going to wipe my surface. And I'm going to get my yellow napkin. I'm going to cut little bits of it, and I'm going to stick it into the spots that I do not have any leaves or wording or pumpkins or anything like that, into my vacant and open spots. Now I could also, if I wanted to, take this background, which is actually really pretty, and it is the background that was with this this napkin. So let me just see, that might be something I want to do. Now this is a little trick on how to split your napkin as well. You can wet the edge, or you can cut it with the scissors, and you can take apart your napkin. Now it is a little difficult to take it apart, but once you get that little edge started, you're on your way pretty good to a nice split of the two. Now this got a little bit sticky. That's okay. You just gently pull it apart. And take off that extra ply. And now if I wanted to put this on the back, that would look really nice as well. And I'm going to just flip this over and get a visual of what that might look like. And that would look pretty, but I think I like the yellow because it's a whole lot brighter. Now it might be in my best interest to let this dry. I can take out my heat tool if I wanted to and dry this up, and then put my yellow in the background. But for camera's sake and time, I'm going to go ahead and apply this on wet. Again, the easiest way is to just rip a little corner to start your split of your plies to take them apart. Now some napkins have more than one ply, and they're not the easiest things to take apart. Once you get it started though, like I said, it's fairly easy. But it's that part of getting it started, right? There we go. I won't be using the entire napkin, so I'll just take off a little piece, maybe half of the napkin. Okay. So I'm just going to measure and see what I'm going to need, and I'm just going to randomly tear strips of bits that I'm going to need to fill in my color. Okay. And I think that's going to look pretty. Now what I can do here is I can go ahead and apply it to my plate. and go ahead and just stick it on the places that it's going to need it. And then I can decoupage over that. Because the napkin ply is so thin, it's going to go through it anyhow. So I'm going to get that covered. And I think I am liking the way that that yellow is actually highlighting the other bits and pieces that are on here. So I just might take a layer and cover that pumpkin. I think I'm going to. I think that's going to give it a really nice effect. Okay, this is my first time doing this, and I have not watched any tutorials. I just read the bottom of this jar here, so I do know it has to cure for 28 days, not hours, days. And so I will come back in 28 days after I have stuck it in the dishwasher, and I will show you the results of this platter and let you know if it is a go or a no-go. Let's hope it's a go. You can also do this with tissue. So if you have your favorite wrapping tissue paper, you can use that as well. Again, going around the bottom with my finger gently. Actually, it would be the top of the plate, but in this case, the bottom. Taking off any excess. And I see a little bit of spots that could be touched up. And that's really not even noticeable, but it will be noticeable to me. And like I said, it's going to bug me, so I'm going to add a piece, a tiny bit of paper right there. This is going to bug me. And if I'm going to wait 28 days for this to cure, then I'm going to make sure that I've got everything covered. Okay. I think we're looking pretty good. Okay, so we're all done with the Mod Podge part of it. It's still wet, so I'm going to be carefully picking this up and see what we have here. This is the finished product, and I just love the way the yellow made the acorns, the leaves, the pumpkins pop up, the word thankful. I love, love, love it. And I want to thank you all for watching this and taking the time to be with me today. You all have a wonderful, wonderful day and a happy Thanksgiving. As always, happy crafting. I always say that, and I mean it. Also, if you like the video, please give me a big thumbs up as it does help my channel to grow. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that anytime I upload a video, you will be notified. And once again, thanks for watching My Crafty Mind for you here on YouTube. Talk to you soon and see you in the next video. Bye-bye now.